Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create this automated data entry form in Excel without any VBA coding. Let's say you are running an institute and you want to capture the details of students interested in your courses. For this, you can capture and organize all the information using this data entry form. The Excel file which you see has two sheets. First, registration form sheet is where the user enters the student details. And the second sheet, student details, stores all the submitted records. As students or users fill in their information in the form and click the submit button, their record is automatically saved in the student details sheet like this. Now that you have seen the final output, let's create it from scratch. Close this Excel file by pressing Ctrl W from the keyboard and open a new Excel workbook by pressing Ctrl+N key. Then create a sheet and name it registration form. Before we move forward, let's save our file to ensure we don't lose our progress. Press Ctrl S, choose a location to save and give it a suitable name. Let's call it data entry form. From the drop-down menu below, make sure to select the Excel macro enabled workbook, which is .xlsm. This is because our form will include a macro that we will create later in the video. Once done, click Save and we are all set to continue. Alright, I will start by choosing a soft color for the form's background. Then I will customize the title section and add a title. Next, we will add borders around each section for better clarity. Finally, let's apply a distinct background color to the categories . Now add subheadings to each category: personal details, course interested in, educational background, and additional information. After that, add field names under each category: full name, email address, phone number, date of birth, gender, preferred contact method, data science, machine learning, and so on. Highest qualification, field of study, university, and relevant coursework. And in last category, preferred course format, preferred course start date, how did you hear about us, and any specific questions or concerns. Now for the fields like gender, preferred contact method, and preferred course format, we need to set up predefined values using data validation. First, Click on the cell where users will input their choice. Then go to the Data tab on the ribbon. Click Data Validation in the Data Tools group. In the Data Validation dialog box, go to the Settings tab. Under Allow, select List from the drop-down. In the source field, type options like email, SMS, and phone separated by comma. You can also set up input and error messages in this dialog box, like in input message, type select your preferred contact method from the drop-down, and for error message, type please select a valid option, email, SMS, or phone. Finally, click OK to apply the data validation. Now when you click the cell, you will see a drop-down menu with the options email, SMS, and phone. This input message will be displayed to guide the users. And if you try to enter any other value than the predefined options, say for example if I try to enter WhatsApp, an error message will be displayed like this. Alright, in similar way, let's quickly set up the predefined values for the gender and preferred course format fields. Next, I want to create radio buttons for course selection category through which users can select the course they are interested in. For this, navigate to the Developer tab. If it is not visible, right-click on this menu bar and select Customize ribbon. Check this box for Developer and click OK. Alright, once you have the Developer tab, click on Insert and under Form Controls, select this Radio button option. Click on the worksheet where you want the first radio button to appear. After inserting the first radio button, drag and select the cells for the other courses and press Ctrl D to duplicate it. This will create radio button for each course. Let's clean it up a bit. Now click on the radio buttons to check if they are working as expected and ensure only one option can be selected at a time. Alright, with that, we are almost done setting up our registration form sheet. Just one thing left, the submit button. But before that, let's move on to creating a sheet where all the students' records will be stored and name it Students Details. Let's format it to make it cleaner and more organized, and feel free to customize it as per your preferences. Next, we are going to add all the headers horizontally. For this, go to the registration sheet, copy the field names, full name, email address, phone number, and so on, and paste them using Paste Special by pressing Alt ESV. Make sure to check this transpose option and click OK. Perform this for all the fields from the registration form sheet. customize a bit more. Lastly, I have few picture icons in my folder that I will add to the form to enhance its appearance. Now change the formatting of all the date cells to ensure consistent date entries. Alright, this student's detail sheet will act our database where every record gets added each time user submits the form. Make sure everything looks good and is ready for the data transfer. Finally, now it's time to add one sample record. John Smith, jsmith@example.com. February 2025. My Google search. What is the course duration? Alright, now we need to collate all the fields by their references in a separate section. Because we cannot directly transfer the values from this form to the next sheet, so we will require an intermediary section. This section will act as a bridge where all the fields and their values are organized and ready to be transferred. I will show you exactly how to do all this. Copy all the fields and paste it in this N column. Similarly, reference the corresponding values in the next O column. Change the formatting of these cells to date. Now for this field course you are interested in, how can we get the value for the selected radio button? First, we need to link the radio button to a cell. Right-click on the radio button and select Format Control. Go to the Control tab. Under Cell Link, specify a cell reference. Let's put this as P10 and click OK. Now this linked cell, which is P10, will display a number corresponding to the selected radio button, like number 1 for the data science, number 2 for the machine learning, and so on. But our objective is to display the course name instead of their corresponding numbers. So for this, we can use choose function like this. Equals to choose P10, then references for all the course names separated by comma. So this choose function selects a course based on the value of P10, which is linked to the selected radio button. So you see, this formula converts the number in P10 into actual course name based on the selected radio button. You can also achieve the same result with an if formula. Alright, once all is done, now you can manually transfer the values by copy pasting in the next sheet, but it is always good to automate this using a macro. And to automate, we need to create a submit button and then record a macro. To add a submit button, go to the Insert tab, click on Shapes and pick the rectangle with rounded corners. Now draw the button on your sheet wherever you want it. Customize the button as per your preferences. The purpose of this submit button is, when it is clicked by the user, it will transfer all the values from this section to the next sheet. Alright, now go to the Developer tab and click on Record Macro. In the pop-up window, give the macro a name such as Transfer Data Macro. You can also assign a shortcut key if needed. Ensure this option is set to this workbook and click OK to start recording. Highlight the cells where input values are located. Copy the cells by pressing Ctrl C. Navigate to the student's details sheet. Here, we won't be pasting the data directly below the headers. Instead, let's first paste the data somewhere else, maybe in this row, by pressing Alt ESV, which is the shortcut key for paste special, and checking the transpose option since the data was originally set up in vertical format in previous sheet. Now copy this data, select the first empty cell, right click, choose Insert. In this dialog box, select Shift Cells Down and click OK. So you noticed that our newly pasted entry is successfully added. Now coming back to the registration form sheet, let's remove the entries so that a new one can be entered. With this, we have completed the first entry and now we can stop the macro recording. Let's assign this macro to the submit button. Right click on the submit button and select Assign Macro. Choose the macro which we have recorded, Transfer Data Macro from the list and click OK. Finally, we can test the macro and our registration form. Enter the sample data in the form again. Sophia Davis. Do you offer certificate? Good question. And finally click on the submit button. Now verify that the data has been transferred to the student's details sheet and existing values such as John Smith's record in the sheet remains intact, and Sophia Davis record, which we just added now, is appended successfully. And we see that the new record is perfectly added to the data, confirming that the macro is working fine. Alright, there are few important points to note. First, in this sheet, we didn't directly paste the data using Ctrl V option because that would override the existing records. Instead, we selected the first row and used the Shift Cells Down option from the dialog box. For example, let me take a step back to when we had only one record like this. If I try to paste this new record as values, you will notice that it has replaced the existing record. Let me undo that. Now this time, if I use Shift Cells Down option, you can see the record is successfully appended without overwriting the existing data. Second point is to ensure the registration form remains intact and no one accidentally messes it up. To do this, we will protect the entire sheet except those cells where user needs to enter the data. This way, users can only enter the data in the allowed cells and rest of the form stays protected. First, we need to unlock all the cells where user needs to enter the data, like name, email address, course selection, etc. Just select those cells, then right click and click on Format Cells. Go to the Protection tab and uncheck this Locked option and click OK. That means these cells are not locked. Now what about the radio buttons? These are considered as objects in Excel, so we will need to unlock them separately. Right click on each of the radio button and select Format Control. Go to the Protection tab and uncheck this Locked option as well. And don't forget about the linked cell for the radio button. It's the same one that shows the value of the selected option. You remember, in our case the linked cell is P10, so head over to that cell, right click, choose Format Cells, go to the Protection tab and uncheck this Locked option and click OK. Once all the necessary cells and objects are unlocked, now it's time to protect the entire sheet. Right click the sheet name and click on Protect Sheet. In the settings, make sure to check this Edit Objects option so the radio buttons will still work even on a protected sheet. Set a password to make it more secure and enter it again to confirm. Then click OK to apply protection. Finally, let's try it out. Try entering some sample data in the input fields, just like we did earlier. And hit the submit button. You will notice that the entry is successfully appended. Now try editing something like the field names or messing up with the form structure. You will see an error message pop up indicating that the sheet is properly protected. One last thing to do is to make the intermediary section in both the sheets less visible. But if I try to make any changes, it is not allowing me to do. So I need to unprotect it by entering the password. Now I can change the font color to match the background so it's hidden and doesn't stand out. And that's it. You have successfully created an automated data entry form in Excel. If this tutorial helped you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. See you in the next video. Happy learning and thank you very much.